Julie and Daniel sat side by side on their soft cream sofa, sunlight slanting through the blinds in golden stripes. In front of them, an innocent-looking video flickered on their laptop screen. There was Charlie, long ears flopping, tongue lolling, tail wagging like a metronome, seated in the exact spot where their baby would one day lie. As the footage rolled, Julie's hand flew to her mouth, and Daniel's brow creased in surprise. What was he doing? They wondered, eyes glued to the screen. Every tick of Charlie's tail seemed to become louder in the silence of their living room. Little did they know, this video held a secret that would change everything, and they gasped in wonder as the mystery began to unfold, leaving them eager for the next moment. A few years earlier, wrapped in excitement and nerves, Julie and Daniel had stepped off a plane in Dublin, clutching just 2 battered suitcases and a stubborn spark of hope. They had left behind the rolling fields of Lithuania, drawn by the quiet charm of Innis, Ireland. Their new semi-detached house sat snug between colourful hedges and winding lanes. Friday nights were spent in the friendly chatter of the local pub, where the barkeep knew their names and every pint tasted like community. Yet no matter how warm the smiles or thick the stew, Julie felt an empty space in her heart, a soft whisper that someone was missing from their cosy home. How could they fill it? One crisp morning, Daniel nudged Julie awake with an idea. Let's just do it. 10 minutes down the road, they wandered among playful pups at a nearby dog farm. Julie hesitated, heart fluttering, until a caramel and white beagle with 2 big paws caught her eye. He sat, tail wagging like he'd known her forever, eyes bright with promise. Julie knelt, heartstrings tugged, and in that moment the decision was made. "He's ours," she whispered, and as they drove home with the puppy's soft snuffles from the back seat, Daniel grinned at Julie and said, "Let's call him Charlie." That name felt right, and so Charlie found his forever home, uncertain yet hopeful, stepping onto the living room rug as if he'd been waiting all along. From the very first day, Charlie was a fluffy tornado of energy. His puppy leaps rattled picture frames. His tiny barks filled the hall. Tiny barks filled the hall. But Julie and Daniel, determined and gentle, set to work, teaching him tricks that felt almost magic. Soon he was fetching the TV remote, nudging cans of beer from the fridge, and even pouring open the lower kitchen cabinet to deliver toilet to taper, like a proper butler. His sleek brown eyes glowed at each success, as if to say, "What's next?" The house seemed brighter with every task he mastered, every triumphant bark echoing his cleverness. And all the while, Charlie filled that missing piece in Julie's heart, though neither of them could guess there was still more to come. One ordinary afternoon, Julie's voice trembled through the hallway. "Daniel, come quick!" Her urgent whisper sent his heart racing like a drum roll, acing like a drum roll. He skidded down the stairs to find her backlit by golden light, eyes shining. "You'll never guess," she murmured. He crouched beside her. "What is it?" A deep breath. "I'm pregnant." And just like that, their world exploded into fireworks. That evening, under the warm glow of lanterns at their favourite Italian spot, laughter and wine circled their table as they toasted the new life blooming inside Julie. When they finally returned home, tipsy with joy, Charlie greeted them with an ecstatic tail wag parade, unaware that his family was about to expand far beyond even his impressive expectations. As the weeks passed, every crib, catalogue and baby name list felt like uncharted territory. Julie and Daniel loved Charlie dearly, but the thought of a tiny human in their tidy routine sent fluttering nerves through their stomachs. Would he feel jealous? Would he guard the baby? As a rival for attention? Determined to include him, Daniel proposed a special plan. Transform Charlie into a baby helper. He sketched out tasks and rewards, teaching Charlie to pick up baby toys, bring diapers, and retrieve soft blankets. Bit by bit, Charlie learned that helping meant treats and praise, and maybe, deep down, he discovered a new role in their growing family. Could this clever pooch really prepare for the greatest task yet? On a dark, frosty January night, with stars sharp in the sky, Julie sprinted into labour. Say. 13 hours later, exhausted yet radiant, she and baby Laura came home under the hush of street lamps. Charlie, sniffing in the doorway, froze mid-sniff, then burst into a wagging welcome that shook the house like gentle thunder. Daniel placed tiny Laura on a soft mat, and Charlie approached slowly, nose twitching, tail tentatively sweeping the floor. In that moment, 2 new sisters in spirit met. One human, one canine, and something in Charlie's warm gaze whispered, "I'm here for you." As Laura grew, Charlie's nanny skills blossomed into full bloom. When she fussed, he nudged her stroller like a patient chauffeur. When she dropped her pacifier, he trotted off, returned it carefully, and sat back on his haunches, waiting for her smile. Waiting for her smile. He even pressed a toy keyboard with polite taps to lull her into calm. In the morning light, he delivered blankets on his snout. In the quiet hush of late afternoon, he lay beside her playmat as she babbled her first syllables. In every moment, he seemed to say, yet Julie and Daniel still wondered, was this devotion genuine or just another clever trick for treats? To find out, they hatched a plan. One afternoon, they set a camera facing the nursery corner and slipped away upstairs, hearts hammering like toddler feet. They barely dared breathe as they waited on the edge of their bed, imagining Charlie's every move. Would he flop on the couch, content to nap without them? Or would he guard baby Laura as he had always done? The next day, they pressed play. Charlie padded in, paused at the mat, then did the unthinkable. He sat, looked around to make sure he was alone, and tip-tapped the toy keyboard. The gentle clicks, a lullaby only they could understand. Then he leaned into the stroller and pressed a paw against its side. A gentle rock, and Laura's eyes fluttered back to sleep. Julie and Daniel exchanged astonished looks, hearts melting at the pure bond on screen. Charlie wasn't performing for applause. He was caring for his sister because his heart told him to. Overwhelmed with pride, Julie and Daniel shared clips with friends who shared them with friends until the little family story spilled across the internet like sunshine. Encouraged, they launched a YouTube channel, A Laura and Charlie Adventures, and uploaded every sweet moment, first steps, playtime races, puppy snuggles. In time, they posted over 100 videos, accumulating more than 95 million views and messages from families who found hope and joy in their friendship, saying, with each like and comment, Charlie's love reached farther than they ever dreamed. One video soared above the rest. In it, little Laura, enthralled by a rainbow rattle, dropped it just out of reach. Charlie, ever vigilant, nosed it back into her tiny hand. But suddenly she cried, startled by her own tears. Instantly, his ears perked and tail froze in mid-wag. He scooped up the toy and raced back, offering it with a curl of his head, as if to say, here, friend, let me help. Laura paused, sniffled, then giggled, running her fingers through his silky fur. The internet exploded. Over 24 million views and thousands of comments marveled at the Beagle's gentle heart. How could one small act say so much about love? Now, day in and day out, Laura and Charlie are inseparable. At breakfast, Charlie sits by her high chair, eyes hopeful for dropped crumbs. In the afternoon, they nap piled together on the sofa, synchronized snores drifting through the air like whispered lullabies. When Daniel returns from work, he often finds them curled in a fluffy heap, tiny hand resting on furry side. Proof that life's greatest comforts can come in two very different packages. Some still doubt that dogs belong with babies, fearing claws or hair or chaos. Farms. But Charlie, Beagle, helper, friend, stands as living proof that a dog's unconditional love can light up a home. He reminds us that family can grow in unexpected ways, in quirky moments of care and shared giggles. And in every wag of his tail, he tells us that when we open our hearts wide, love finds room for everyone. Next time, someone says dogs and babies don't mix. Ask yourself, have you seen Charlie's gentle care? Aren't families strongest when they welcome every heartbeat, four-legged or two? So...